What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody?
What's power?
Yeah.
We back. Never mind my shirt.
My brother is here now.
That is
all
right.
All is right with the world.
Yes. Hope has been restored to the universe. Boy, it's been a hell of a 30 days, y'all. But we here.
Oh, yeah.
We are here.
Oh, yeah.
Like we never left. Hopefully you guys like the background.
Right?
Hopefully so.
We're in a new setting, which I told y'all about that yesterday. But, I mean, not yesterday, last week. But now you can see a little bit more of it. It's pretty cool.
Y'all know the demo. We gonna wait and let a few people get in here, so we can, get it situated. But January is almost through.
Yep.
And we decided we wanted to check in with y'all. Right. We understand that some people still do or have already done New Year's resolutions, goal setting and what have you, what they want to see out of themselves from this year.
All of that.
Let's see how you're doing. Let's see if you need some help.
What's good with you? What's good with you? Let us know.
Yeah, we're going to share some of our own personal goals and the things we've decided to start for the new year.
Right.
So, we hope y'all ready for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Also, sorry that we're late for the post for the people who was looking for it. Once again, turbulent times.
Yeah.
But we getting there.
It's just life, bro.
We've been transitioning. There's been a lot of stuff going behind the scenes, but
yes, sir.
It's all gonna be for the better.
We out here though.
Hopefully, you guys like what you see. Think this looks a little bit better, right?
Right. Just the whole atmosphere.
If you guys like any of the art also that you see in the background, please let us know. Please let us know, and we'll see about getting that to you.
Right. Most definitely.
In case y'all forgot, usually he says it, but I'm going to say it. Yeah. Welcome to the Black in a Minute podcast, brought to you by, sponsored by, the one and only Twyman Art.
Yes. Establishment in which we are residing right now.
Facts. So, shout out to Mr. Twyman.
Yes, indeed. Also, this man Javar out of pocket. He said, "I know you can't see where your glasses at."
For your information, sir, all of them are broken. So,
word?
Yeah.
Oh.
The last pair literally broke a couple days ago, literally slipped off my face and fell and hit the ground and broke. So, I'll be out probably for like another week, 2 at the most. I think I got insurance on them, so we're going to see.
That is ugly. That is so ugly.
Nah. And I'm not blind like you are, sir. So I actually can see without my glasses. Not the best, but I can see enough to be here and function.
Thank you. Extremely out of pocket for that.
All right. He started.
Let's see how we sound on this.
That's my brother, though. He's starting early.
Right. Nick, he breaks them on purpose. He's been doing this for years. Gee. Javar, who breaks glasses on purpose?
Tell this man.
That's expensive.
Man, who is you telling?
That's extremely expensive.
This is coming from a man that didn't even used to wear glasses.
And now got them.
Until a few years ago. Now his old behind got them.
Y'all about to say, you got glasses, G?
Yeah, he got glasses.
Oh, join
you
the
know he do.
Welcome to the group. Welcome to the family. You're here now.
It is an exclusive club.
It's an illustrious exclusive club. Yeah. Oh, Lord. We're also live on Instagram as well.
Yes, so definitely check us out on there.
This is our first time trying that, so just bear with us.
If the angle's off or anything, the audio, definitely let us know.
I think we look pretty good. I'm looking at it. I think we look pretty good.
Cool,
I look dramatic. Cool. For those who can't see, peep the drip. It's that JoJo. Look, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Look, fresh little late Christmas present.
NeRo's a JoJo's fan, so bear with him.
Hey, no judgment, sir.
Oh, I'm not hating on nothing. I ain't got no problem with JoJo.
No judgment, sir.
I ain't got no problem with JoJo.
Look, I'm just saying, look, I diversify my bonds every now and again. Don't worry. The sand hoodie in the back too. I got that too.
Yeah.
I got that too. In fact, hold up. I can show you. Hold up.
For those of y'all just getting in, y'all know the demo. In about 10 minutes or so, we're going to start. This man.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
My cribman was good.
I feel it though. I rock with it. I rock with it.
Right. I was pleasantly surprised.
It's got our boy on there. I rock with it.
What's the painting behind me? I don't know if this one's got a name to it. It's nice though. Let me see.
I was about to say,
I don't know if we can.
Don't start us to lying.
Right.
I don't think he's got the.
What's up, Magic System?
I don't think he's got the exact name on it either.
No. Oh, but yeah. Just know if there are any paintings in here that you do want to get, there is actually a link that you can go to for that. With Twyman Art. Hold on.
Oh yeah, we can. That can be arranged.
Yeah.
That can definitely be arranged.
Let me see if I can find this one real quick. Yeah, I think this is it. Yep, this is it. But yeah, that can absolutely be arranged. If there's any ones that you find a reason that you want to look at, I just posted that link up. So that's just one of those things. Let me see.
Shout out to those of y'all who are just now joining us. If you are watching us, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Please do. And
help
also
us beat that YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, look, much love and appreciation to those who have subscribed. I think we got 2 more subscribers since the last week or so. So we most definitely appreciate y'all.
Straight up. We still little, so we need every live possible so we can get those likes.
Right. What is it connected to? That's weird. Oh, was you checking something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I thought I was the only one who had technical difficulty. I'm like, it ain't linked up to mine.
Honestly, it wasn't even a difficulty. It was me trying to do too much. For real.
Yep. Unpopular opinions. Encanto is better than Frozen. They got this picture of.
I haven't seen that yet. I've been seeing a lot of memes regarding.
It's good though. It's good.
You've seen it already?
Inadvertently, I got to see it as a result of being at work. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, and I got to watch that, John. It's good though. Also got to watch All Dogs Go to Heaven, which was nice.
Bruh.
That movie is entirely too gangster for children. Can we be the first to say that? That movie is entirely too gangster for children. I'm just saying. Yes, Encanto driving me nuts. The kids won't stop watching it. Bro, you know why? It's fire. It's fire. I mean, what you want me to say? It's a good movie. It's an actual good movie. Like, y'all know I ain't gonna just say that. Like, for real though, it is decent. It is decent. But hey, gang, all right. James Earl Jones had his 91st birthday some days ago.
Man, you had me worried.
5 days ago.
You had me worried. I was like, "What you about to say about him? What is you about to say?"
Don't even worry about it.
I was worried. Yeah,
you should be. But I mean, it's all right. See, this that level of toxicity I'll be talking about. And y'all know I don't like that word.
Y'all don't mind me in the background. I'm messing with the music and stuff.
Look, the music got stopped from the foolishness I just showed him. Because that's some foolishness. Said don't F with Dragon Ball fans. We can't read. Dog, come on.
Who said that?
That's what it said on the meme. No. That's them casuals that only watch certain parts of the anime. They don't never read the manga or do nothing. That's what that is. All right. Let's clear that up. Okay.
Facts.
What's good, DSOG? What's good with you?
What's power? How you be?
All right. Let's see. Local pugilist. Just making sure this John look good. We need to scooch up. But yeah, since my brother's back, we're gonna take it easy. We ain't gonna talk about nothing too deep, heavy, or cerebral. Like, it might go there, but only if we really want to. You know what I'm saying? Only if y'all really want to. I know we got a little heavy last time. Folks was like, dang, man. I'm talking about discipline. Dang. You gonna beat me? No.
Yeah, I didn't. I missed that one. I heard, but yeah, we're here now.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about 2022. It's a new year. But not only is it a new year, we're almost through with the first month.
Yes, we are. Somehow we have managed to survive the first month of 2022. I don't know how.
We got a week left and then it's February. And y'all know how fast February gonna breeze by. So we're not even February gonna literally be like 2 blinks. So
right. It'll be gone before you can hock a loogie. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. But yeah, man. We got a lot of stuff to discuss. You know what? I had a random thought, and it's gonna be before we really get knee deep in this. But I know it's a controversial opinion. You know, there's a lot of people, because we was talking about Dragon Ball Z, there's a lot of people that say that Goku got dumber when he got in Super. And I noticed that one of the arcs that they reference is the fight against Frieza. More specifically, when he goes Super Saiyan against Frieza, right? For the first time. Realistically, now, to be fair, us as the American anime fans, because they tweaked some of the things that he said and even that Vegeta said, we gained a different we got a different perspective of what Goku was and what he represented. And it did cause some contradictions a little bit later, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, Magic System also said, oh, you asked what's up. But honestly, nothing. It's been hard lately. Girl, we understand. We understand.
Swear.
For real, though. But one thing I noticed, because I went back and looked at it, mostly because I love the speech that he gives, you know, the allies are good, I fair to you.
Yeah.
That was not in the original manga.
Right, yeah.
Right.
That's true.
He actually just said, "Is like I am the Super Saiyan Son Goku." Like, he said that, you know what I'm saying? Like, which is cold because it's meant to intimidate Frieza. But it's like, and it fits more in line with where he was at. Because realistically, you got to think about it this way. This is what you got to think about. And this is why I say that Goku being stupid if we don't talk about it, okay? Let's think about this realistically. You have a dude in front of you that is quite literally the most evil individual you've ever seen in your natural life. This is a dude who makes Hitler look like Mr. Rogers in comparison with sheer acts of violence and carnage, right? What in your right mind persuades you to make the incredibly sound decision to be like, you know what? Not only am I going to beat the hell out of him, I'm going to wait until he charges up to maximum before I kill him, when I could just kill him.
Okay.
And beat the ever-living stuffing out of this dude, so that way he's demoralized and he knows that without question he was going to lose.
Those of y'all just joining us,
and then I'm going to kill him.
NeRo is discussing Dragon Ball.
Yep.
If you're unfamiliar, he's talking about anime.
And then even then, instead of killing him, he'd just be like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm out. Bump all this. I'm out. Right. Look. And that's his saying pride. That's his saying rage too. Because you got to think about that. Think about the things that cost him. As much as we come at Vegeta for the things that he did to the Namekian people, at least he didn't cost them their planet. Goku did. Because if he had killed off Frieza at 50%, it never would have happened. I'm sorry, it's because I'm charged and because to me the speakers are loud. But
yeah. We didn't even ask y'all, how does it sound?
Yeah, how
music
sound?
Overpowering? How's the audio?
We good.
Definitely let us know.
We don't get the benefit of receiving that.
As soon as y'all let us know how good the audio is, NeRo stop touching his beard because I see him out the corner of my eye.
Leave me alone.
Touching his beard.
Leave me alone.
Y'all gonna just see mine how it is.
Like,
so I'm fresh off work, so don't mind me.
Yeah.
I'm a little disheveled.
I do that sometimes. It messes with me. The mask be squishing my beard down. It'll be making it look all awkward. But no, for real. This man let somebody live who could potentially be a bane of the entire universe. And the only reason he really did what he did and went as hard as he did is because he messed with somebody on his team. It had nothing to do with the widespread genocide this man committed, right? There was nothing remotely, thank you. There was nothing remotely self-righteous about Goku. That's the truth. And the truth of the matter is, Goku's never been a Superman type hero, like a superhero. None of them are. You know what I'm saying? They just some niggas who happen to end up in situations where certain actions have to be taken and they could potentially be heroic. Right. Goku isn't a hero he was never supposed to be. Exactly. Even though the Allied to Good Nightmare to You whole thing was like, ooh, I'm the hope of the universe. I'm like,
I don't care what nobody say. It's still a cold speech.
Oh no, I still get turned listening to it.
It's definitely not. If you're being a purist about it, it's definitely not.
It's not
congruent.
No.
With what we the anime or the character himself.
Right. Because what we see later does not fit with that.
But
he doesn't even get to that remote point at all until probably late Android Saga or maybe even Buu Saga when everybody's legitimately dead. You know what I'm saying? That's when he actually matures to a level that's close to that. And even then, it doesn't really stick.
Facts.
But, like, and look, I get charged up every time I hear that speech. But the simple fact is, Goku was nothing but straight up rage at that point. You know what I'm saying? He was moderately controlled rage. All he wanted to do was kill Frieza. All he wanted to do was just beat the hell out of Frieza. He didn't even care about killing him. Because you notice once it stopped being a challenge to him, he was just like, all right, go on somewhere. Like, you're telling a galactic tyrant to go on somewhere. Like, can we talk about that? He said, sir, Javar Fried. He said, sir, that was Kakarot, no, not Goku. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Because Kakarot was definitely... Oh, Lord. This would be the only. Hold up. Do you have it on the which one? Okay.
Should be.
Okay, now we're good. Okay, I am so sorry, guys.
That was my. Hey, I gotta get my bearings back with everything, man.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I've been off for like a month, y'all.
I think we good now.
Bear with me.
But realistically though, like, come on, man. Come on. That's like pulling up on Frozen Off and On. Are we good now? We straight? We straight? Can y'all hear us and everything? Because I know it's a slight delay on y'all's side, so we might be okay here, but I don't know if y'all know if we're okay. That was a loaded sentence. Anywho, I think Instagram's still good though.
Take my shot. Yeah. Sorry, hey, if you're on Instagram, you didn't have
it got weird.
Yeah,
it got a little weird. But yeah, for real. I gotta say it because I was thinking about this. You know, sometimes when you're driving around, you get to thinking, and I'm like, yo, no, that was an incredibly irrational decision. That ironically, he gets his comeuppance on when Gohan does the exact same thing with Cell. The only difference is he had a higher success with it. You know what I mean? Which realistically, and it's so messed up. It shows the dichotomy of how Vegeta gets treated versus how Goku gets treated. In the way that it's like, oh, Vegeta let the androids get absorbed. Okay. Goku let a galactic tyrant live and pissed him off so entirely bad that he made Earth a prime target where they probably wouldn't even came to find us for another few years. You know what I'm saying?
How many people we got in right now?
5.
5?
Like realistically, because like realistically, if you think about it, I'm sorry. Look, realistically, if you think about it, bro, he could have ended that right there, right? The whole reason Namek got destroyed is because he took too long. And nobody really thinks about that. They had to relocate to a whole other place.
Twin said stop clearing your throat in the mic, sir.
I know, I saw what you said.
Hey, y'all, bear with NeRo. He on his soapbox.
I am on my soapbox.
So there'll be a lot of clearing throats.
I'm saying what I'm going to say. Because I be seeing a lot of Vegeta hate, and I ain't here for it. But don't get me wrong.
He's being a fan right now.
Look, don't get me
Please
wrong.
bear with him.
Don't get me wrong. When it comes to Vegeta, I give him his due whenever he deserves it. Okay? But it's one of those things that a lot of times we highlight what he does in deference to everybody else. That's like, case in point. Let me ask you a question. When you think about who's most at fault in Cell Saga, who is most at fault in Cell Saga, if you really think about it, for how things went down? There's a few people you could choose from if you realistically think about it.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's a. You can say 3.
It's really 4.
You say 3. I don't know who the 4th person.
I'll tell you. I can probably imagine who you're thinking of. Who are you thinking of in terms of 3?
Goku, Vegeta, Gohan.
See, I'm actually surprised that you said that. Piccolo, Vegeta, and Goku. Okay. Those are 3 that I wouldn't have thought of initially. Because normally what people say, they'll say Krillin, Vegeta, or Gohan.
Twin said you need to let this go.
Not late. I will in a minute. Give me a second. But you know who else you don't think of? Well, some people, like y'all said, you don't. Sorry to get off topic. You hear about World War III about to happen. Bro, we've been hearing about that for years. Now, if it's going to actually going down, we'll see. But the 2 you don't think about all the time is Krillin and Android 17. Really just the androids in general. But I want to say 17 because he kind of started it. Because think about that. Krillin had the remote, didn't he? What did he do with the remote?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he destroyed the remote, which meant that Cell was able to still get 18. But even before that happened, I'm glad you did say Goku, because in a lot of ways that whole arc was caused by Goku, inadvertently. But, yeah, Vegeta, Gohan, and Android 17.
The reason why I say Gohan is because, remember, Gohan hesitated to both Vegeta and Gohan made the same mistake. Goku's problem was different.
Right.
But the other 2, they made the same mistake, and that's why Goku had to sacrifice.
Goku's was more of an indirect causality versus.
I mean, the sensu bean thing.
Not even the sensu bean. Well, yeah, that
wasn't necessary.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
No matter what nobody said.
Nigga, that was a clout drop.
That was just doing the most.
Yeah, that nigga just wanted clout at that point. But
yeah, so G, you saying World War III about to happen, and it's with Russia. Oh yeah, that's what everything that's happening with Ukraine, and basically the U.S. is telling Russia like, yo, the U.S. ain't directly saying we want to be allies, but they like to Ukraine, but they also just like, yo, Russia, don't mess with this. I mean, that's a whole separate thing, but you know what, y'all, we gonna get out the weeds and get back to the center point of today's conversation. That's a side conversation we can have though, DSOG mental, because there's definitely a lot of for lack of a better term, dick swinging going on right now. And that's a whole separate thing. But let's
Soldier's over. Oh,
let's talk about something a little bit more positive.
Yeah, because that's wild. It's the fact that we're even dealing with stuff like this in the midst of a pandemic anyway.
But, you know, I mean, with that being said, you know, that's the craziness about life, right?
Right.
Most of us are civilians.
Right.
And so while these decisions will ultimately affect all of us,
Right.
on the ground level where we stand, we still have to function and do our daily things, right?
Right.
We must still serve our roles.
Yeah.
And where I'm going with this is, oh no, you good, bro. You good. But where I'm going with this is,
I'm so done with Javar. He said Japan gonna wake up Godzilla soon anyway, so damn World War III. What you mean damn? That means it's worse. Ain't nobody trying to mess with freaking Godzilla.
no, I think that's his point though.
I know.
We're not worried about it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm worried, but I'm not worried because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
More importantly, y'all, under the guise that any of this stuff is happening because it's plausible.
Right.
What are you doing today to make you a better you than you were yesterday? Today's main topic that we're talking about tonight is 2022 and goal setting. Now, everybody don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I know in this day and age, it's a little taboo. You know, people don't like to subscribe to, oh, I'm making a decision to do something a day or a year in advance and all of that.
And I mean,
fuck all of that.
Right.
Everybody has some forward thinking of some type of goal or thing they want to accomplish.
Right.
It could be one thing, it could be many things.
You at the very least have some measure of a plan, like
to be better than you were yesterday.
3-year plan, 5-year plan, maybe a 1-year plan, you know. But it's something, you know what I'm saying? It's something. I would say that honestly, one thing I want to focus on is just eventually improving myself in terms of education, moving up within my job structure and continuing to do things in my field, refining my ability to do things in my field, and really just learning to be a more firm and resolute individual overall.
Okay, all right. I'm feeling that. I'm digging that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Javar said, I'm pushing YouTube videos out the A right now. Got weights on the way. Time for change is coming 2022.
You already know. Hey, my brother. That
is one thing. I ain't going to call it a resolution because I don't know how dedicated I am to it. But, yeah, some of this got to go.
Man, I keep saying I'm going to get my sexy back is what I keep saying.
Dog, I'm trying.
I'm trying to get back. I got to get, for me, that's like going back to 2017, 2018. That's where I need to go. I ain't got to go that far. It ain't going to take that much. It's just going to take me getting back in that mindset.
I mean, I just want to get back to where, like, I'm probably not going to get back into a size 32 again. But I at least want to get my body right a little bit more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and you know what, though? And if that's y'all can sound off in the comments too. A lot of people make the resolution to get in better shape, to lose weight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Just because it is a realistic demand of what I do now, of just, you know, just being able to function and being able to be available and be able to operate properly. Like it does offer some issues. You know what I'm saying? Oh, somebody said, "Amen."
What they say?
Oh, because I'm still on Twitch.
Holding your breath to get better.
I don't know if it's realistic or not, but
that.
No, I was just on Twitch. Somebody sent a message and said, like, "Hey man, nice streams." So,
oh, okay.
We did good. Yeah, I guess they like the streams we do. But
cool. Thank you.
I mean,
appreciate the love.
Right, I'm not opposed to it. Certainly not opposed to it. Which, for the people who are on Twitch, the few people who are on Twitch, we are sorry for neglecting y'all. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do neglect y'all, and I mean, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes we check in, but we usually check in from like the main thing instead of the actual site. So you know, I know sometimes that affects them. Are you checking one of the whatchamacallits? But yeah, that's just what that is. Realistically though, let's see. The SOG mental said it's hard for me to make a resolution knowing what I know. I mean, I guess that's fair.
I mean,
sometimes knowledge is a curse.
I mean, DSOG though, that sounded a little doom and gloom to me, brother.
Just a bit. Like, it's not that I don't get why
it doesn't
you
have
feel
to
that
be.
way,
I mean, but hear me out. It doesn't even have to be a resolution in the general sense of what we're accustomed to.
Right.
I'm not asking, you know, by measure of whatever the status quo is. Basically, what I'm essentially asking is, what are you trying to work on this year better? What are you trying to see better success in this year as opposed to yesterday or last year? I mean, let's make it that simple. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's essentially what I'm asking.
Sometimes
not just you, but everybody. Everybody in the chat. Like, what we trying to do here?
Because sometimes you do have to localize it to yourself.
Yeah, you ain't got to get caught up in the hoorah, the
trying to say
charade ritual. Yeah. We don't even have to ascribe to that. But at the very basic level,
right.
What are you trying to improve this year
with yourself
from last year within yourself?
Because realistically, we could always go knee deep into the concept of like, man, what do I want to do to help improve the world? What do I want to do to help improve my community? Blah, blah, blah. Look, trust me, I have those thoughts too. With the line of work that I'm in, I see a lot of things that I wish that I could be more hands-on in dealing with, improving, helping with. But we have to be realistic and think about what we can do within our own sphere. In other words, control the controllables, which a lot of people that I talk to like that phrase. I will let you know.
It's the phrase, bro.
I be abusing that one, and now I've started abusing the line that you always say where it's like, only I can do. It's like my main goal is to be better than the me from the day before.
Yeah, I mean, my only competition is me.
Right.
I don't.
That's what. I always misquote it.
I don't like it, and it might be simple, but it's kind of like this, y'all. Like, self-improvement should always be the goal. I don't give a damn where we're headed as a world, or even what I think this reality is headed.
Right.
I'm not concerned with that, because in this moment right now, right, the present
involves us.
Involves us in the decisions we make, the thoughts we have, so on and so forth, and the movements.
Right.
So it's like, how can I be better, regardless of what's going on around me? Because a lot of times, you know, our behaviors and actions dictate our reality.
Right.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I do believe that. You know, my one of my expressions is that, you know, this is my world and everything and everybody else is just a part of it. And what I essentially mean by that is, you know, when you open your eyes every morning, what you see and what you feel and what you think is what it is. I mean, there ain't nothing else.
Right.
So what are you going to do yourself to affect that in a positive manner for you?
Right.
I mean, you know.
I mean, yeah, and I feel that 100%.
We can break it down by categories, whatever's on your minds.
Right.
You know, like my guy earlier, Javar said, you know, he pushing out content on YouTube. I mean, essentially what we're also doing with this here.
Speaking of that, man, drop your link so that way we can send
drop some links in the comments. I'll pin them or put them in the description. We're always looking to help out other people. The SOG Mental also has a channel too.
Yeah.
Also drop your stuff in here too. By the way, side note, when the hell are we getting back your curly? Because I'm going to tell you something. Me and NeRo lost it on that 6-OK breath. I don't know where the hell you got that from.
I'm not even sure what that means.
I know you know what it means.
I mean,
when your breath is kicking. That's what it means. But I need you to bring that back. Make that part of your 2022 goals, because I love that. That was hilarious to me.
Oh, Lord. But, you know, it's just one of those things where, like, for me, I'm just trying to improve myself in a lot of ways. Like, one resolution I will say that I have that I am a bit more committed to dealing with is improving myself musically as well. Like not so much just as a rapper or as a beat maker, but also as an actual musician in the music that I play. Like playing keys, learning chords, learning more things about it, right? Because for a while I was very stagnated. I was very stagnated due to the fact that I wasn't surrounding myself with people who were musically inclined in that way. So as a result, I was kind of I was content with whatever I had, right? I was content with where I was.
Okay.
So as a result, whenever I was approached in situations with the opportunity to do a bit more, I kind of faltered, and I could see the difference. You know what I'm saying? So
That's fair.
As a result of that, I'm like, man, all right, I need to tighten up. You know, I need to make sure that I'm on the right type of wave where I'm making myself sound like I feel I should. You know, because naturally, you know, you have your own personal expectations for what you should be or where you should be at. And that's what I had. That's what I had a conflict with in terms of most things. It's just like, man, I gotta be on level. You know, I gotta be on a different level.
Fair. That's fair enough.
So I know that's definitely something that I plan on working on because that's big for me.
Okay.
Especially because that's kind of the root of where I come from, like what I come from musically, you know, is me being a musician first. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
That does so much more. I know I'm snorting in the mic. Don't come in.
Hey, if you guys are just now tuning in, we are talking about 2022 goals. Just checking in with y'all, seeing what y'all trying to do for this year. How are y'all trying to make the most of this year?
Yes.
We're also streaming on Instagram right now too. So shout out to the folks on Instagram.
Yep. We're just trying something new, guys. You know?
So we still
don't
working with
wanna
the kinks.
leave y'all out.
Getting used to the new set. So there might be some little tiny glitches here and there. None of that internet crash and stuff and nothing like that though. We got that solved with a new environment and everything.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, I am curious.
Yeah.
Would y'all be interested in us going live on Twitch, on TikTok? Because that is a thing. You can do that.
Yeah, I mean we'll create one for the podcast. I mean, I'm not a TikToker. I don't like it. I ain't rocking with it. But for the sake of the pod, I'm with it.
Scroll.
Yeah, I don't even got the app. I don't got an account. None of that. I don't like it. It's too ridiculous for me. But nonetheless, we know that there is a growing group of people who that's how they consume their media. Right. So if you guys think us having a TikTok would be helpful for your entertainment and consumption, definitely down to do it.
Right.
So, but
the SOG, look, he just gave you the good news. He said, I got something coming.
Cool.
He said, man, I'm telling y'all, go live on TikTok. You can get a lot of eyes on your channel. Yeah. Look, I ain't gonna cap. You can be live for a long time on TikTok, and the only reason I know that is because I be watching the ASMR videos on there.
I thought it was just like a 7-second thing, like what Vine used to be.
It used to be. Now you can do videos that are up to 3 minutes, but you can do like live videos as well. You can legitimately go live on there.
But like only for like 3 minutes, like not.
No, you can go for a grip.
Oh, so you can have a live broadcast on TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, why not? Why not? We want to get as many people involved in the conversations and the discussions that we have here at Black in a Minute. So I mean, it makes sense.
Right.
You know.
Let's see. Keontae said, I'm giving myself up until the 31st to figure out how I'm going to make my first 1K in of 22. Okay.
Cool. Dope. I love it.
You know what's funny? I already made my first 1K in 2022, and most of it went to bills.
Oh man, I think
got eviscerated.
He didn't specify there, but it's one of my guys I know him personally.
Yeah.
Sir, this man is a photographer, so I believe that's what he's referring to. I don't think he's talking about 9 to 5 work.
Oh. Yes, get your money, G.
Shout out to some of the people that are the day ones. Matter of fact,
Look, Javar, bills, taxes, and freaking insurance. Yes.
oh yeah, rent,
Man.
not just studio rent,
Bro, they take it
apartment rent,
right. Look,
bill, renter's insurance.
For real deal. My insurance and my taxes take at least $300.
Bro, that's why
2 weeks. It hurts.
That's a whole nother thing, but I ain't get as bad because I don't know. Well, I just filed my taxes day before yesterday.
I gotta do that. I'm still waiting on some W-2s come in.
See, I don't miss having multiple W-2s. I just got one W-2. I mean, I got different forms because you know you got your, for me, what do you call it? Investment accounts. You know, if you got dividends,
that's true.
HSA.
You talking about the IRAs?
Different types of ETFs and any of that kind of stuff. You got to do other forms and stuff. You don't get to do that free TurboTax thing. So, nah.
Look, I'm waiting. Javar said I'm waiting on both my W-2s. Retail jobs better hurry up, right? Because they never send them at the same time.
Most of them started around the 21st.
Yeah.
I think most of them have until like the end of the month or something like that. I forget.
Bro, girl, preach that. Bills are killing us because they acting like they can't pay nobody at some of these jobs. Well, that and because everybody claims that they sick and they start buying up all kinds of stuff and like.
Right, you got to remember, for those of us who are working, there's the overwhelming. There's the rest of the world that isn't. Some by choice, some they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know where you stand.
Yeah.
Hopefully, for those of y'all who are not working, that are capable, please get you some work. Eventually,
it's
you
out there.
Aren't gonna have any choice as far as that money goes.
It is out there.
Please,
you can make your
plenty of places are hiring.
I will say,
help the rest of us out that are having to break our backs.
I will say this because this isn't something that's mentioned a lot, but it is important. Make sure. Look, this is why we be telling y'all not to do no reckless stuff, because look, when you got to get them background checks, that stuff stick to your record. It can screw you out of a lot of really good jobs. I know a dude that I deal with who had his background check come back good, but he did have some hiccups and some issues, and it screwed him out of a good trucking job. So I mean, he got a whole CDL and everything. Look, and Javar said the prices for everything keep going up except how much you make an hour. Boy, yes.
Inflation.
Hold up. Magic System, you ain't got your refund check from last year? Oh, you need to figure that out. Girl.
Your tax refund?
You better call somebody. Hey, Kiki, look what I'm wearing, though. You see it? Look, you see it? I had to do that for a moment.
What's power?
I'm wearing my Christmas present. You know, look. God bless the homies who give you good gifts. You know, that you don't expect to be as dope as they are. I appreciate that. Much love.
Shout out.
Especially on the arms. Like, look. See it? See it?
Yeah, extra. You got a dab stance going on right there.
Hold on. Who is waiting on a stimulus still? You talking about taxes from last year or this year? I understand this year, but not last year. Gee, that's ugly.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. Apparently, that is a thing, because when I was filing my taxes, it asked me if I got all of my stuff from last year. I had to go check because I couldn't remember.
Right, I'm not gonna front. It took a little longer than it normally does, but I got it. I did get it. I'm thinking about becoming an Amazon driver, like the kids at Chick-fil-A is getting paid more than I am, and I work in a hospital. Somebody make it make sense. Hey, them kids
What's
be grinding.
Kiki? What's power?
I ain't gonna cap to you. Them kids at Chick-fil-A be grinding, all right? They be out there with them they look like them laundry basket things over their heads whenever it's raining. They out there, rain, sleet, hail, snow, whatever, bro. It don't even matter. They be out there, right? And they still smiling in your face doing it. Look, taking all them orders, man, dealing with them folks. Look, I ain't gonna say they don't deserve what they get paid, all right? I don't even want to know how crazy those people are. I try to be as respectful as possible every time I come through that line. Out of all, and especially because out of every time that I've been down there, it's only ever really been one time that I ever had to go back. You know what I'm saying? Because they messed up something. Ooh. Well, praise the Lord. You done got you a raise. You get that money, girl. You get that money, girl. We like the praise reports. Let's go. I need one of those little audience things to go off for that. We need to get that drum machine for that. Because that's a screaming audience right there. But dang, last year government treated the disabled like trash. Yeah, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. There are things that we could definitely say about that. Ironically enough, I was at church earlier, and one of our members, she actually was sick with COVID. And when I say she was sick, she got like her body became a whole petri dish for like every symptom you get. Like she thought she was about to be out of here. You know what I'm saying? And she said when she was at the hospital, like the nurses and stuff was being rude to her. Like they literally came at her going like, "What are you here for?" It's like, "So what you here for?" "I have COVID." It's like, "Okay, we understand that you got COVID. What else are you here for?" You know, like saying stuff like she was down bad to the point that she couldn't walk. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, "Well, I need a wheelchair." "You need a wheelchair just to get around?" It's like, "Why is that?" "Well, ma'am, because I can't walk right now." She's like, "You can't even go around that corner?" It's like, bro, no. You know, like, so, and don't get me wrong, I understand why some of this is coming up, and I understand why some workers are being that way, especially in the medical field. Shout out to anybody who's in the medical field, because y'all going through some special ish, and y'all right in the face of y'all in the face of the pandemic. So I get it.
Facts.
But at the same time, the way that we've been asking people to give us grace all the time, and the way that we've been asking people to be like, okay, just level with us, give us some time to get ourselves right, we have to give that grace to others as well. Like, if somebody brings drama to your door, I don't expect you to sit there and smile, all right? I'm realistic. But if it's somebody that is legitimately in need of help, you have to have the discernment, which that might be something we talk about later. Just keep that in mind, discernment. That has to do with discipline. It's another part of it. You have to have the discernment or the ability.
Have we not talked about? Maybe we haven't talked about discernment. I feel like we
have.
Maybe not
in a sense, but not as a solid subject.
Man.
Because discernment goes into a lot of things. It's just like discipline. It's just like a lot of it goes into a lot of things because it's another part of self-control and discipline. Like, you have to be able to discern between the people who are just being needy and the people who are actually in need. You know what I'm saying? You have to make a determination between the two, and you have to make certain that you're giving the right attention to what it is. Because if somebody ain't coming at you with that energy, there's no reason for you to even be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason. There's no reason whatsoever. And I think that that's one of those things that causes a lot of issues and a lot of problems. So I know, don't get me wrong. I understand that there is something of a disconnect between, you know, those of us who are working on the ground and really don't have an understanding of what's going on in the medical field and those who are in the medical field. Oh, and look, case in point, Gary Rod 25 said, "Tell them druggies and alkies to stay out the hospital, please. They're wasting most of the people who really need the ER or out of help." Look, you right. You right. Look, I ain't gonna say you wrong, because I mean, even on the social work side, we deal with that. You know, you get ones that's out here doing all kinds of stuff, and you looking at them like, you wonder why, and then they want to get mad at us and be like, well, why can't I have this? Why isn't this moving along faster, right? You look, in this line of work, you would think that people would be nicer to you when when you are a cog in the machine that is going to determine whether or not you get your kids back. But, well, it's not always true. You know what I mean? You get some people that are very abrasive and very disrespectful. You know what I mean? I go into work every day. I'm lucky. I ain't gonna say lucky. I'm blessed that I've been able to be a positive influence on a lot of the ones that I deal with. So as a result, they don't really have no problems with me. I've gotten messages from ones going like, "Man, I appreciate you helping me out," and that's not me bragging. That's just me being realistic about being thankful about something that I know is not a guarantee. There's a lot of situations where you're literally walking into somebody's life as an outsider to make a determination on how they live it, and they're looking at you like you're the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Be in there for the craziest of reasons, but I believe they'd still end up in there without or being on nothing. Yeah. I mean, mental health is such a huge issue in this country that it's not even funny. It really is, because of the literal fact that, I mean, you get kids and parents that might be on suicide watch. You know, you get kids and parents that need serious therapy. You get kids and parents that really need help because they're going through things.
Facts. Let them know.
I had coworkers that had to make what we call a hotline call. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but really hotline calls are reserved for when there is an issue in the home that is reported by a child. And I'm not talking about at their house where they live, like, you know, with their parents. I'm talking about like at where they're placed, right? So these things are happening. Sometimes these kids get placed with randos that don't understand them for any reason, whether it's culturally, emotionally, or just in terms of relatability, or because of age, or because anything like that. And sometimes that ain't even the worst. Sometimes it's worse when they get placed with families, like with family members, because now those family members are engaged in a war with the family members they were supposed to be with, which is like mom and dad or whoever, and they're using the children to fight their own little private war amongst themselves. You see that stuff, you know. And I say all of that to say this, that one of the reasons we're saying you need to start setting some personal resolutions and coming up with some personal goals is because realistically, the world as we see it here in the Western Hemisphere is so individualistic that you don't have much hope for a collective solution until people do build up their individual selves. Until people do like actually restore themselves personally. Because then they can focus on things that are on the macro level, that are outside their normal boundaries. When you don't have that, what do they focus on? What did we just talk about? Bills, taxes, financial issues, you know, personal issues, things of that nature. These things cause problems. You know what I'm saying? So as a result of that, they don't even have time to figure out what's going on.
Sure.
In their sphere of influence.
Yeah. A lot of people. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people are so fixated on what is the bare minimum that it requires to live. Right. They don't really have time to be like, oh, well, I'll take on this project. I'll take on this hobby. Like, right. I will be the leader and lead this group, or I'll be president of this. That they don't have those opportunities.
Right.
Because they are still trying to maintain the basics
themselves. Yes.
A lot of people, you're right. A lot of people do get stuck in the trap of just having to live everyday life. That, you know, think about it. Like, that's one of the main reasons why a lot of people don't become like famous for anything in particular, because they don't really have the resources, and or personally they may not have the drive or the willpower to do anything outside of that, outside of the normal, you know, the normal
right
things that we have to take care of in life, our normal set of responsibilities, our understood responsibilities, which are basically rooted in survival, because survival first, right?
Right.
To where, you know, that's why you got so many people. A basic example is so many people don't get to travel places.
Right.
Some people will live and die in the same place.
Yeah, literally. And it's scary when you think about that, but it's real.
And that's just
It's
like a
very
small
realistic.
example of something specific.
Right.
Some people have aspirations, dreams, whatever word you want to attach to it.
Right.
Some people want to go skydiving one day, right?
Right.
But like, depending on where you live, that's not really an option. That's not something that you can just do. In majority of cities and even states within the United States.
Right.
So if that's something you want to do, like bucket list things that people have, for example, many people have these bucket list things that are like for them so much fantasy. They don't even see them being realities.
Right.
But they'll make that bucket list still.
Yeah.
They'll put all of those different things that they want to do.
Right.
I want to go to Jamaica. Some people got on their bucket list or even on their goal list to like go to Jamaica or even Vegas.
Yeah.
And they may not ever. And so even when we talk about the more leisure and luxury type of things like that, we live in a world, especially in this day and age, where the dynamics of possibility are forever changing in our favor, especially if you're a millennial or younger. In this day and age, there are a lot of privileges, there are a lot of opportunities that afford us that didn't exist 30, 40, 50 years ago. And for that reason, at least for me personally, I love it in this day and age where, you know, we can create content like what we do with Black in a Minute. Well, like my buddy in the comment section, Javar, does with YouTube and streaming. Or my other buddy, Keontae, does with photography. You know, the fact that it's easier for us to be musicians, we're artists, poets, rappers. Like, these are things where, for the most part, most of us have the basic opportunity to express ourselves however we choose to. But so many of us, we don't get to the point of really manifesting what it is we want to do.
Right.
And I think that's part of the reason why this is important. That's part of the reason why we having this discussion. Because, man, I'm going to tell y'all now, a lot of us still got older people and older generations of folks in our families.
Yes.
And they are mystified. They are like surprised each and every day by the type of things that they're seeing people our age and younger, 40 and under, doing and capable having the capability of doing.
Because it just wasn't.
It wasn't there.
It wasn't an amenity it was offered.
Nah, it wasn't accessible.
Now I will say on the flip side, there are certain things that they were able to accomplish on a realistic scale.
Sure.
That we have no hope of. Like, you see a lot of people who try to be stay-at-home parents. And honestly, I'm not saying it doesn't happen and that it can't happen, but it's a lot less feasible in this time and age than it was.
I would say it's definitely more of a luxury in this day and age.
Yes.
Especially when you look at the numbers. That just made me think about a whole nother subject.
Feasibility is just not there. But I got Kiki said I got me getting a passport set in motion as we speak. I'm trying to definitely see different parts of the world before my time comes.
Right.
I feel that I'm on the fence about it, but it's definitely something I want to do.
Time is of the essence, y'all.
Right.
Time is of the essence. You never know when you may get called or your time may be up or however you think about what that is and what that looks like for you. You never know. Yeah, you never know when your eyes don't open again.
Right.
And so time is literally of the essence. And it's been very on my mind lately. Time and money.
Right.
And I've been looking at ways to make the best of my time here more lately, because I think one of the things that I dislike about this day and age, I'm not gonna say this generation, but most people in this day and age, because I think that covers a broader spectrum of people. one of my issues is that we are taught, and we hear it so often, to kind of disassociate the importance of money in our lives. And sometimes for me, it's a little bit annoying because
Right.
I think sometimes it can be unrealistic.
Right.
And the reason why this matters is because time is money.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
to be dismissed, to be too dismissive of the impact of money in reality, honestly, is not being realistic. And
even though it's something we would ideally like to avoid.
we would like to avoid the negative aspects of it, right?
Right.
The gluttony, the materialism.
Right.
And that's cool. So as long as we understand that money and time have a very interesting and symbolic relationship that cannot be understated.
True.
You know, as much as people hate on and dislike rich people, we remember that most rich people do not inherit that money.
Right.
There's stats and statistics out there. I believe it's around 8 to 10%.
Right.
But for the most part, most of the people y'all understand and know to be rich did not inherit it.
Most of them are what you would define as new money.
New money and or self-made.
Yes.
A lot of these people did bust their ass.
Right.
And they had a good understanding of the correlation between time and money. I just read the other day that Warren Buffett, who is one of the richest men in the world, he's really old now, in his 90s, I believe.
I don't know how old that man is.
I think he's in his 90s. One of the things that I often heard about growing up was just the fact that he was rich. I never really knew too much about why he was rich. And once I found out it was like investing and everything, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. But I didn't really get it because what I recently found out was that he's been investing in the stock market since he was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So when you think about the complexity of that,
right,
and you got about 80 years worth of investing,
right,
it makes sense that somebody of his, stature and everything would be at that point in his life.
Yeah. That's true.
Like, of course, he has businesses and other things of that nature, but it all started with him just investing at a young age, and I'm sure that was his parents doing. But like, time.
Yeah.
He's had 80 years
worth of time
to do this primary thing. He does other things, but this was his primary bread and butter.
Right.
So like when we think about time and stuff, when we think about money, we have to be thinking about time.
Yeah.
And we have to stop understating money's impact on our lives.
Well, and it brings to light the phrase "time is money."
Yes, it literally is.
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels, funny enough, said this, and he was just like, money is the hard dollar, and time is the soft dollar.
Okay.
And of course, I'm sure he wasn't the first person to come up with that, but the nature of that, when I first heard that, I was just like, you know what? I haven't heard it phrased in that way exactly. I get what he's saying because it's not like rocket science what he's saying.
Right.
But basically, you need to be thinking about them virtually on equal importance.
Agree.
And I mean, for those of y'all in the chat, many of y'all have already brought up bills and other things that literally correlate with money.
Yes.
So, sometimes we need to stop leaning so heavily on the gluttony and the materialism, and let's talk about money from a practical sense, because you need it.
Yeah.
And time ain't refundable. Money is.
No.
Time ain't.
I like the way you said that too. It's one of those things of like, people have to be willing to make the best utilization of their time, because sometimes the issue that we have is the fact that people will misuse their time but still expect certain things to occur in a timely manner as if they did what was supposed to be done.
Hey, patience is a virtue.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Hey.
And the simple fact is, we have to understand that most things are not going to happen. Even good things are not going to occur in the way that we want to or expect them to.
Which goes back to my expression, control the controllables.
Yeah.
Don't worry about things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
But
Why
you
are
can
you
deal
stressing on it?
But you can deal with it
Sorry.
here and now and make it work.
Yeah, you can make the best of what you have.
Right.
That's true. That's true gratitude.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to take what you came into this world with and make the most of it. That's also why I don't regret, bruh. I don't have regrets.
Right.
Like I divorced the concept of regrets years ago.
Probably
Because
a wise choice.
we can't turn the time back. All we can do is learn from our mistakes and try to be better about it.
Yeah.
Like,
and in a lot of ways, that's what that is. The two things that I usually say to most people, I'll always try to be as realistic as possible and say, look, in your process of whatever it is you're trying to do, you're going to fail a few times. You're going to have issues. You're going to have problems. You're going to have things that are going to afflict and bother you. You're going to have things that get in your way. It's going to happen. But the big question is, what are you going to do about it? Because yes, you can get frustrated, and that might happen too.
you can
But
give
it's
up.
really, what are you going to do about it? And that always becomes the question. Like, and sometimes I end up having to constantly say that. They'll be like, well, I'm dealing with this, and I'm dealing with this, and there ain't no hope. This is bullshit. Okay, well, what are you going to do about it?
Bruh.
Well, I'm just trying to really deal with it. No.
Shout out to my
What
cousin.
are you going to do about it?
Look, my cousin hit me with that. He is like, years ago, he's like, don't ask people why they can't do something. They'll give you a million reasons why they can't do it.
Yes.
Why they can't do it.
Oh, every day.
They got excuses for days. But ask them what they actually can do and be quiet. Sit there and listen.
And
see what they tell you.
Yeah, and you know why? Because it puts them in a position to do it. One thing, I actually had
to
a
be
client.
Proactive.
Yes. It puts them in a position to not only be proactive, but realistic.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's funny. I literally had it was actually a client that told me this, man. It was actually a client that told me this. And he said because he was talking about the difference between lies and the truth.
Okay.
And he said, I'm trying to see if I can find it. That's what it is. The truth doesn't mind being questioned, but a lie does.
Woo!
I like how he said it.
Fire.
The truth doesn't, and he said it in a different way, but I like that. The truth doesn't mind being questioned, but a lie does. A lie hates being questioned.
You know what's crazy?
Right.
I feel like that sounds like something I wrote a couple days ago.
Right. And look, but for real though, because the thing about a lie is that you have to consistently recite it and reformat it and
you have to be consistent with it.
Right. Truth is prepackaged. It comes with its own answers. Right.
It is what it is.
Whether you like it or not. There are some things that you just have to deal with, right? But yeah, that's one of the issues that we tend to have when it comes to that. It's easy. It's always so. A lot of things we do, at least that I've learned, is due to the fact that it's easy. It has nothing to do with the fact that this is so hard or this is so difficult or you're going through this. No, it's just easy to do. It's convenient.
Second nature.
Not even second nature. It's just in that moment. Because even something on the level of suicide or drug use or things of that nature, it is easier for you to fall into a vice that you are familiar with, or for you to just end it, or for you to just contemplate doing something reckless than it is for you to sit down and think of a salient solution to your problem.
Complacency.
Yeah. Complacency on the highest level. I actually, in reference to that, I explained the concept of cognitive dissonance to somebody for that same reason. We keep getting these little bots. I'm gonna go ahead and get him up out of here. But
what's that?
I said we keep getting these little bots. That's the second one, but I'm gonna handle
little trolley troll.
Yeah, well, because they're sending these little awkward cryptic messages. I don't know what that is. So we're gonna report that. unwanted commercial content, spam, and off you go. Why is this one still here?
Shout out to those of y'all who are currently with us on the stream. If you haven't already, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Help us fight the YouTube algorithm so we can be up there with your favorites.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
If you're on Instagram, shout out to y'all. Appreciate you.
Please do.
This is our first little time trying out Instagram.
Right. So hopefully that'll build in time.
Yeah, hopefully it comes out well.
But one thing that I realistically want to touch on is just the fact that in so many ways and in so many iterations, you have adults that literally act and conduct themselves in very childish manners. And as a result of that, they end up displaying characteristics that are more akin to that of a child. You know what I'm saying? And it's frustrating, and it's probably something that people don't like to hear or like to hear said or you know, like to perceive. But honestly, it's like that old adage, if you're going to act like a child, I'm going to treat you like a child. It's funny how these things are so true, because what do you do with a childish person? Like, more often than not, what do you usually do with them? Like, you don't talk to them like a man. You know what I mean? You talk to them like an unreasonable child. You talk to them in a way, not necessarily saying in a way of disrespect, but you sit down and you try to clearly break things down like you would with a child, right? Because that's the level of intelligence they're displaying. That's the level of understanding and maturity that they're displaying. So you're trying to meet them on their level, right? You know, and the truth of the matter is, you know, we have to do so much more when it comes to self-maintenance as people. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, you know. And I think this society, unfortunately, because there are so many categories and categorical definitions for the various myriad of issues that people can have, while it's great to identify what an issue is, sometimes it's a gift and a curse in the way that you now have an identifier for your issue. And you know what happens when you identify something, when you ascribe a name to it, when you give it something like that.
It gets powerful.
You give it power.
You give it power.
Look, think about it this way. This is something that people never really get from the concept of Adam and Eve. When Adam walked around and named, what did he do with all the things on earth? He named them.
Hey.
And what did that name do? What did that signify?
Look,
because think about it.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Right, like, look, think about it. He the only sentient individual, sentient, intelligent being on earth. And he's walking around naming stuff.
Listen.
That don't have no bearing on what he's doing.
And what he's describing plays into the concept of not only just labels,
yes,
but it also plays on to the logic behind words of affirmation.
Yes.
Some people think it's dumb, woo, whatever, but that's part of the reason what allows these words of affirmation to be. You know, we understand that there's power behind the things you say.
Right.
You know, regardless of whatever your belief system is, you know, whether you're any form of religious or non-religious,
right?
You know, even just something as simple as a good speech, right?
Yes.
You ever heard a good speech? It could be in a classroom. It could be some motivational video you watch. Your favorite rapper, wrestler, model,
TV character, whatever.
TV character, church sermon.
Right.
We understand the power that exists within the words and the things that we say. You know, the body language, all of these things. It's crazy how these little nuanced things can make such a whole difference when you compact and combine them together.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why, you know, people always say, you know, actions speak louder than words.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of it goes back to, like, when I brought up that example of Adam and Eve, well, Adam really had no realistic, because if you think about it the way we think about it, why would you name a bunch of stuff that only you gonna talk about, right? Realistically, does that make sense? No, you're giving it a name because you're ascribing what? You're ascribing, it ascribes two things. Names ascribe power and purpose. When you give something a name, you ascribe power and purpose to it. Another perfect example for my Bleach watchers. What is the thing that you have to do in order to make an ability stronger?
Fox, where you at? Where's you at, Fox?
Name,
this
right?
is the question
Look,
for you right now.
You have to know the name of the ability. You have to say the chant for whenever you're using Hado chants. You have to know the name of the attack. When you say the name, it makes it more powerful, because you are acting.
I wish
in
my
the
guy
purpose
Fox was
of
in
it.
here right now for this, because he would have hopped on that real quick.
I'm just saying, man, because names grant purpose. So whenever you ascribe a name to an issue, to a problem, to a concern, to a mental affliction, guess what you're giving it? You give it power. Is it great that we can categorize it and we can identify it the moment that we see it? Yes. But the curse to that is the fact that you now have an identifier for whenever you feel that way. Because if you don't know what depression is, you don't know you're depressed, right? And it's great that you know when you are, because you can probably check yourself. But it's also bad when you know that you are, because now every time that you feel anything even resembling that, you're questioning, is that depression or am I just sad? You could just be sad, but instead you graduated it up to depression because you gave it a name.
And you know what? I think that also, y'all might be hearing some of these other things related to this, and y'all wonder, where's the synergy? Where this all ties in?
I'm sorry, I got a little.
But it relates,
right?
And the important thing is that these are some of the thoughts you need to have. This is some of the logic you need to, the logic path that you need to walk down when we talk about ascribing to be better. Doing things to better yourself,
right?
Because there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? And so for some people, like I said, those are words of affirmation. Those are ascribing, labels to certain things, because labels are primarily for identification purposes. I know we live in a day and age where society will tell you labels are inherently bad, but that's not true at all. It's very situational and circumstantial. But I say that to say, we use these tools, or we're supposed to use these tools to our advantage to ultimately advance ourselves. So when we talk about goal setting, understanding that time is of the essence, understanding that you need money to live somewhat of a desirable life or better in this world, understanding that you cannot do it alone, and you will not. There's a reason why there's more than one sentient being.
Yes.
There's a reason why there's more than one of us. This is not an experience to be lived and experienced completely in solitary. Right. If it was, that would have been your life.
Different
game. It isn't.
Yeah.
So with all of that being said, with all of these different vices and things that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, the question is, or the question becomes, what method do you choose to ensure that despite all of these different things going on at once, and you existing within it, how do you get to the desired point that you wish to get to within this reality, this lifetime, or what have you?
Right. And honestly, when it comes to that, there's two things that you have. There's one thing in particular that you have to admit, is that failures, slip ups, mess ups, whatever, will come standard. They're going to happen.
Yep.
Mistakes are a guarantee because of the fact that we are human. We are by intention and by design flawed. So that's going to happen.
Yep.
But how badly that failure impacts you is up to you.
Yeah. Your decision.
Because there's a lot of people that fail, a lot of people that have a problem with this, and I had a problem with this too. Sometimes it affects me. You fail, and then you don't get back up. You falter, because now you're weakened. You're in a damaged state. Your mind isn't right. You're focused in on the fact that you did something that to you was wrong or off, and that something was going on, right? So salute to you too. Shout out to Big's the Truth. Much appreciated.
Shout out,
sir.
brother. Appreciate you sharing that for me too. I saw that.
Absolutely. That's what's up.
I've been on a hiatus, but I'm back.
Look, we're gonna be back at the next Juneteenth, best believe. But
keep us posted. You already know.
Please do. On any other events as well too. But when you end up in situations like that, failure, I like, but I don't like the concept of the phrase "failure is not an option" because it's not really well explained.
No,
it's not that failure is not an option.
Failure is an option.
Look, you're right. Failure is not an option. No, they're right. Failure is not an option. Failure is a guaranteed conclusion at some point in your journey, but it is not the end of it.
Nope.
It is not the end of it. It might be a perceived end. It might be a potential end.
So
but
instead of failure not being an option, how about failure is necessary?
Failure is a necessary roadblock.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide whether failure becomes a roadblock or a legitimate obstacle. Because here's the thing. What's the difference between a speed bump and a wall? Or more specifically, a speed bump and a road closed sign.
Dead end, bro.
Yeah.
A speed bump versus a dead end.
A speed bump versus a dead end. If it's a speed bump, all you got to do, what do you have to do to deal with a speed bump? All you got to do is slow down.
Slow your roll.
And perceive what's in front of you.
Yep. Proceed with caution.
Slow down and pay attention. That's all you got to do to deal with that. If it's a dead end, there's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is what? Hit that young U-turn, turn back.
Yeah, turn back around.
There are some roadblocks or dead ends that are really speed bumps. And because we have ascribed the characteristic of a roadblock or a dead end to it, we're turning tail, and all you got to do is just slow down.
You know what? Let's make that even better and fix that up a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Because look,
I'm here for it.
Even if it's a dead end,
yeah.
Since you can still turn around, that still don't have to be your final destination.
No.
Some of y'all be treating dead ends and speed bumps like they sinkholes. You ain't falling out of nowhere you can't get out of.
Oh, yes.
You
because
can turn
if you
around
get
at a
yourself
dead
into
end.
something, you can get out of it.
Right. You can turn around at a dead end.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is slow down with a speed bump.
Right.
So if you ain't sinking into the ground,
if your
where
wheels
you can't
still
get
work,
out, right, you can make a difference. You can turn around.
Right.
You can get something fixed.
This man said the hurt feelings force. Look, we trying to tell people not to be hurt. All right. Because here's the other thing. Sometimes the reason that road is a dead end is because you wasn't supposed to be there in the first place.
You went the wrong way.
And you knew
you wasn't following directions.
And the bad part is you knew it was the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the direction you wanted to go in.
Oh, I think it's this way. Deviating from the path.
Right.
Clearly it's telling you to go this way. But you're like, oh, let me take a detour.
Look. I'm going to sound like a preacher saying this. But sometimes you delay your own destiny because you want to go wherever way you want to go. Seriously, you delay your own inevitable destination, destiny, victory, whatever you want to call it, because you want to go the way you want to go.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. As somebody that deals with anxiety, sometimes I have moments and spells, even within depression and other places like that, where I want to make rash decisions.
I understand.
Usually, what I do. When I get in that mindset, I already got a blinker pops on.
Yeah.
Hey, hold up. You in that mindset.
Back up, dog.
Were you ready to do whenever and whatever?
Yep.
Stop. Think about it. Does this really make sense? Just stop. When you find yourself coming up with a bunch of thoughts at once,
yeah.
I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that.
Yep.
You see that speed bump. But you don't want to slow down.
Nope.
But you know what happens if you go over that speed bump too hard. You're going to fuck your shit up.
Yep.
You can fuck your shit
You're
up.
gonna lose a wheel or lose something else.
You don't really want to fuck your shit up?
No, you don't.
So stop. Hey, look, gotta hit him with that Lloyd. Stop. No, let me stop.
I hate you so
Wait a
much.
minute. No,
I
but
thought you was gonna say off them cheesy gun prevention commercials. Stop. Don't touch.
bruh, hey,
Call an adult. Like something.
man, listen.
But no, for real. Look, and Kiki then went even deeper. She said even if you sinking in, hey, there could be a vine, a lifeline to help pull you out.
Woo,
Don't
hey, you
give
better
up.
scream. Somebody scream.
Woo.
Hey,
Let me chill.
because somebody gonna hear you.
Yeah, for real. Look,
Somebody gonna either hear you
look.
or somebody gonna see you.
Look,
That's another thing. Let me say this real quick.
there's always
This is
somebody who
another
sees
thing.
you too.
Right? A lot of times y'all don't be thinking people be paying attention to y'all.
Right.
There's always at least one person
That's peeping what you're doing.
that's peeping what you're doing, that's been witnessed, that's noticing the difference.
Right. For better or for worse.
For better or for worse, because
Yeah.
sometimes people see your fuck ups and it's some
Look.
shit that you're going through versus sometimes people see some fuck ups and you're doing shit.
Look, haters
you're being
just
a
gonna
bad
hate,
person.
bro. There ain't really much you can do.
But with that being said, y'all, these are the thoughts you need to have when you're making your goals.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about how fast something gonna happen.
Yeah. Just worry about it happening.
Worry about you trying to do it.
Right.
Many of y'all don't be doing shit because y'all worried about the time or the money. Well, guess what? You won't know whether you have the time until you actually put the time in.
Yeah.
You won't know whether you're going to have the money or not until you do something to get the money.
Yes. Dude, oh my man. And have 20 different excuses for why.
I can't afford to do this.
I can't afford to do that. I can't get
Did
this,
y'all know that it's free to try? It's a bar. Did y'all know that?
Woo!
It's free to try.
It's absolutely free to try. And
We
you might
hear
fail.
stories every day about mother starting businesses
Right.
with no money
Yeah.
or little to no money.
Low money. Yeah.
We done heard about people being broke on the street one
Right.
minute and being thousandaires and even millionaires and billionaires the next.
Yeah.
So we know that trying is free.
Look, Kiki said, no, some people be tripping, have people around them that care and are reaching out, but since it's not the person they looking for to care about, they go around like, don't nobody care about. Girl, ooh, you ain't wrong. You are so not wrong. Because here's the thing. Here's the issue that I run into a lot. Here's the issue I run into a lot. It is literally, as you said, it's not the fact that it can't be done. It's not the fact that the process cannot be achieved. It's the fact that it's not happening on your terms.
That you ain't doing it.
Not even that you ain't doing it, that you're not at the helm of it.
Okay.
You're being told how it's supposed to go.
Okay.
And because you don't like how it's supposed to go, you want to have a problem with it and argue over something stupid. No. What you don't understand is that some people that are in your position, and this is talking about anything, some people don't have an option. Some people don't even have the option of achieving whatever it is you might be able to achieve if you just sit there and put in some effort and stop whining about where it come from.
Right.
You never know where things like inspiration, wisdom, and understanding come from. Most of the time, we keep getting it in our heads that you got to get wisdom from some grizzled old man who looks like a shaman, a combination between a hippie and a freaking Shaolin monk. And that's not the way it is. Sometimes there'll be a little 12-year-old that'll give you more insight in your life than anybody you've been around.
Wisdom primarily comes from people who have had experiences.
Yes.
It is not
a factor of age.
It's not a factor of age. It's a factor of experience.
Yes.
There are people who are younger than me that can teach me things.
Yes.
As well as there are people older than me that can teach me things. Now, there is more of a propensity or more of a chance that somebody older would have already had that lived experience.
Right.
But there's also a chance that they haven't.
And you know what? The problem with that is, yes, wisdom comes with experience. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Kiki, but here's the other problem. Stagnation can come from experience too.
Woo!
Because here's the thing.
We know old people that ain't doing shit and ain't been doing shit.
You know why? Because they tried to do it once or twice, maybe even 3 times, and they got kicked in the head every single time. So as a result of that experience, they've decided that that's not the path to go on.
That's
there's
one
no
of the,
use.
That's one of the consolations of being older. You've had more time to fail or progress.
Yes.
And if you personally look at yourself and you haven't trended upward,
you're not gonna see a feasible reason for why you should try.
Yeah.
You know.
And it gets hard because for some of us, as we get older, we get more set in our ways.
Yes. Oh,
that's one of the beauties in having you.
Absolutely.
Like when we're young, that's one of the beauties in that's one of the coldest things I think about, just like kids in general.
Yeah.
They always want to try something.
Yes.
They always want to do something.
Their minds are an open book.
Yeah, they're always willing.
They'll look at something that here's an interesting thing about kids, and this is something that just for me having to observe children all the time. Have you ever noticed the level of wonderment that a child will have whenever they see something that we consider basic?
Oh, yes.
And you know why?
Imagine, look.
They don't have a solid definition for what that is, right? They don't have a solid understanding of what this thing is.
They're still learning the building blocks of reality.
Guess what they can do because of that? They can ascribe a different level of value to something that they don't understand because they don't understand it. And because they're not and even if they do understand it, like say kids do this stuff with box. What's that? It's a box. No, they're like, nah, it's a spaceship. Mm-hmm. And you can't tell them no different because in their minds, they can see the control deck. Hey. They can see where the handles are. They can see where the seat in the cockpit is. They'll let you sit next to it because of the fact that they ascribe a different level of value to something.
I think it goes from curiosity and imagination, to reality and suspicion.
Yes,
I'm gonna write that in something.
Ooh, I like that.
From curiosity and imagination to reality and suspicion.
Yes.
What you used to be curious about, now you're suspicious of. What you used to, have a very completely open mind, full of imagination, and thinking of all possibilities, has been flatlined by the harsh truths of reality.
Yeah.
And to some degree, it is a part of growing up.
It's a gift,
but also
and a curse.
some people completely lose that.
Right. Sometimes, look, I'll say it like this: it's okay. There is nothing wrong with being rooted in reality. There's nothing wrong with being rooted in reality, but your roots should never stop you from growing.
Look, imagination is to kids what open-mindedness is to adults. Basically.
Oh God, yes.
It's basically what it is.
Look, now on that level, once again, balance is important.
Woo!
Look.
Hey, y'all, y'all knew it was gonna kind of be like this anyway.
Look, she said,
we back.
Look, Kiki said, I made a dollhouse out of a box. It had 3 floors, LOL. Learned how to sew, made the furniture and everything. There it is. Look, but for real. Here's the thing about that. Reality, it is okay to have imagination so long as it is tempered by reality. Not controlled and governed by reality, but tempered with reality. Because there are some outcomes you cannot feasibly see. Does it mean they're possible? No. It doesn't mean they're impossible. It just means you can't see it. It can become possible. You might just have to look a little bit further than where you're looking. What is it that we make references? What is it that Lionel always says? Give me sight beyond sight. Because sometimes you need to see farther than what's in front of you. Right? And it's okay to not see the outcome.
It's a real world expression like that. It's like see the forest through the trees, or it's something like that.
Sometimes you miss the forest for the trees, and that's the truth. Sometimes you worry so much about the clouds that you don't see the sun poking out. Right. It's a concept. It's the concept.
It's there.
Right. It's the concept of being able to see the unseen, of being able to see something before it happens, or call something done before it happens. Right. Look, church folk rely heavily on this, and it is real. It's one of those things of sometimes you don't see it, but it's there. You know that you can get there. You know that you can get there, but you gotta believe it. You gotta believe in yourself sometimes. Like for real. Let's be realistic. There are certain moments where we don't realize just how capable we are, and I keep saying this. We have to give ourselves credit where it's due whenever we do accomplish things. And the reason that is because sometimes we're already halfway to the destination that we never thought we could reach, and we don't know it because we're so caught up in the process itself that you're not even looking up to see where you're going. You know what I'm saying? You're not looking up to see where you're going. You're just going, right? And yes, at times your process can become monotonous. At times your process can become exhausting. At times your process can become a thing that is hard to see anything changing from. You can have a moment where you don't perceive any surprises. You don't see anything different happening because you're stuck in regimen. So as a result of that, you might get to where you're supposed to go and keep going and never even see it and never reach it. You know what I'm saying? To make another Bible reference, because y'all know how I grew up. Look, you want to know the funniest thing? You know the concept of when they said that the Israelites was walking around in the wilderness, in the desert and the wilderness for 40 years.
Okay.
Do you know how long it was supposed to take them to get through the wilderness to get to the other side? 40 days. A month and some change. What was supposed to take you a month and some change because you was pissed off about not being where you needed to go, and because you were in your midpoint between A and C so much that you wanted to go back to A, even though A included you getting the hell beat out of you every day. But at least it was a comfortable low. It was something you could perceive. It was something where you had expectations of what to do the next day, because you had food, water. You knew where everything was coming from. It was trash, but you knew where it was coming from. It took you literally 10 times longer to get there because you was too busy complaining, whining and tripping about a situation that didn't even have to take that long. Man, I can't tell you how many times I see something like this every day where it's literally the start. We ain't even started the journey yet. They like, all right, man, so you let me know how long this will be. Or they'll be like, oh, don't worry, I ain't gonna be here long. I'll be good. Everything's cool. And look, and this is why we tell people whenever they're in situations, don't tell your kids anything about what's going on. Don't sit there and tell your kids, oh, well, this will be over soon. Because guess what soon becomes? Soon eventually has to become a salient thing, because kids ain't just gonna accept soon. Kids are gonna eventually be like, well, it's been a good grip. It's been about 2-3 months, dog. When is soon? Well, we don't really know that yet. Give me a day. You know, a dude said his kid literally did this. Say, how many visits? How long is it? It's like, baby, I don't know. And they're not satisfied with that.
Nah.
You know why? But for real, neither are we. But the truth of the matter is, this man said, walk us down, preacher. Leave me alone. Look, but for real though, it's such a real analog to what happens in real life. We get so caught up with trying to reach the end that we don't even know that we're getting there. I drive around every day, right? Sometimes I have to drive out somewhere that's like an hour and a half. You know, sometimes that hour feels like forever. But guess what? So long as that GPS says what it's supposed to say, and so long as I know exactly where I'm going, I know I'm going to be there in X amount of time, regardless of what I want, regardless of whether I want it to be faster or slower.
There's definitely there's this notion that some things do have a definite timestamp end on them. Yeah. There's this notion, though, that with some of the best things that you want out of life, they have a set completion date to them. No, these are lifetime journeys that are to be made. Mm-hmm. You know, if you talk about, you know, you want to be successful in anything,
it depends on what you're defining as successful.
Not only that, though, but if you view success in a general sense, even by definition for what it is, right, it doesn't necessarily speak on a particular end date. And so I think where a lot of people get anxiety or just get uncomfortable in general with it is the fact that they will be doing this.
Right.
Like this will be going. This is an ongoing thing. The marathon don't stop. The marathon continues.
Right.
Like there's no realistic endpoint on these things.
Right. You treat life like a marathon, not a race.
Yeah, like it's ongoing.
Right.
So once you truly get started in this stuff and these things become habits, habitual
Right.
to your life,
Right.
you will continue to progress forward.
Regardless.
And you should be more fixated with just upward movement than moving to a certain point. If all you're trying to do is get to a certain point, you really ain't trying to do nothing.
No.
Because once you get to that point,
Then what?
then what? Right. Then what?
Then
But not only then what, but that's it.
Right.
It's kind of like
you reached the plateau.
it's kind of like how dopamine receptors and stuff work in the brain.
Yes.
It's like the thrill. It's like the thrill of the hunt.
When the
It's like
thrill is
the,
more powerful than when the anticipation is more powerful than
Right.
the actual reward.
Right.
That's when you have an issue.
So it's literally that relationship of how you will want that thing. Like, for example, let's just say it's this right here. The anticipation
Mhm.
and the all the agony and everything else, the anguish, the anxiousness of waiting for this thing to get to you will
Right.
be more meaningful to you
Then when you get
than
it,
when you actually get it.
and that's true.
Because once you've got it, you've attained it, and that ends. There's
That's-
an end point to that.
Yes.
You
And now
won't care as
and-
much about it once you actually have it.
Right. And on top of that, now you have to find something else that's going to give you that
That
same
same
feeling of dopamine. And that, look,
That's partially partly how addiction works.
yes, because literally the anticipation is so heavy. And sometimes the anticipation of failure is so heavy. I had the dude tell me, he's like, man, I had a dream that I used. And he said he woke up livid because it was so vivid to him that he thought he screwed up. He's like, man,
That's crazy.
But
It's real.
but you know what? And I was like, I can equate that to when I know that I gotta be somewhere on a certain day, when I know that I gotta be there at a certain time, I would have dreams that I woke up 2-3 hours late. Not like, oh no, 20 minutes late. Oh well, I can just get together and just be like, hey man, my bad. No. Enough, like where I'm late enough to where it's going to cause a significant issue, and I should have never been out that long, right? That comes from anticipation, and sometimes it is an anticipation of failure. And at times, the reason that we do have these issues and people don't want to pursue things is because they have an anticipation of failing. So when you anticipate failure, guess what happens? All of a sudden, everything bothers you. All of a sudden, have you ever done a difficult assignment or been on a difficult assignment or felt like you had to deal with a difficult person? You notice the whole process of you leading up to the day where you have to deal with whoever that, in your case, crazy customer that's always there, or that one coworker that don't ever show up, all these things. The anticipation of that is so powerful that you psych yourself out of even thinking that there's any way you can get a positive out of it. And every now and again, what happens? You actually get shocked.
That's
Maybe
the
that person,
subconscious.
that person acts like they actually got some sense. That one coworker shows up not only on time, but early. It happens. You have to allow, I always say we have to give other people the opportunity to fail. We have to give ourselves the opportunity to fail. And we have to accept that failure can happen, but it is a part of the process.
The point is to try.
Yes. And don't let a failure inhibit you from trying again.
Nope. We're trying to keep succeeding.
Yes.
Keep succeeding.
Right.
We're not trying to succeed. No.
Because that implies that there's only one success.
Right. And that there's a definite start and end point.
There
No,
isn't.
we are never satisfied
No.
in the general sense of betterment.
Yes. Not in the general sense of expectations and
Or ungratefulness,
entitlement.
unrealistic things like
Right.
those.
Because here's the thing.
And not just betterment for us, but betterment for those around us that we care about.
Yes. Because one big thing is nothing. It's always a concept of balance. It's always a balance. Yes. Should you not expect yourself to do something that isn't realistic for you? Like, look, I ain't been in the gym in God knows how long. Should I expect to be able to bench 200? No. Like right out the gate? No. But can I expect to get there if I go and hit them weights a little bit, yeah, might get there quicker than I expect.
Possibly you'd be experiencing newbie gains because
Yeah.
you ain't. So it
Yeah,
wouldn't
and
be
it's
wouldn't be too.
and it's gonna have more of an impact on me than it would somebody who's been working out. Because here's what happens when you've been working on something and you've been improving. Guess what you get? You get diminished returns.
Mhm.
Does that mean that you're not achieving something? No. Does that mean that you're not bettering yourself? No. It's just that the ratio between where you want to be and where you are is getting smaller.
Yeah, it's getting smaller and smaller. And what you can do
Yeah.
in those situations is adapt to change. Every
Yes.
time you reach that plateau or place where you feel like, okay, the rate of improvement has changed, it's time to up the ante.
Yes. See
It's
if you
time
can
to
do a
put
little
in
more.
more work.
And
It's
it
time
doesn't
for you to do a little more.
And with that being said, it doesn't have to be a mountain of work.
Mhm.
Just a little bit more than what you normally do. Just a little bit.
Every little bit counts.
Because guess what? Those little bits create more.
Mhm.
Life rounds up.
Yeah. It compounds.
Yes. Because those little bits can compound. And that's the thing. If you do a little bit better each day, if you do a little bit better every time, guess what you're doing? You're improving without even realizing it.
Yeah, and once it becomes subconscious, it'll essentially just become habit, and you
Yeah.
won't even have to think about it. It
Yeah.
won't feel like work. It'll just come natural to you,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's the point. Remember, in the beginning when we start these things, it will feel like work because we feel like we're putting so much conscious action
Yes.
into what we're doing.
And because it's something that you're not accustomed to.
Right? It's new.
Yeah.
So when we talk here, because we ain't gonna keep y'all too late. We ain't gonna belabor the point. We got lives to live and we got our own responsibilities and goals to go out there and chase
Oh,
and make.
Lord, you ain't lying.
But with that being said, we want you guys to think about these things and concepts
Right.
when you're not only just formulating your goals, but as you're going through that process. Because a lot of y'all have already started the things that you will do or not do this year.
Yes.
The things you will or will not be successful with this year.
Yeah.
Use these tools, these concepts to keep you going. Remember,
Yep.
time is of the essence.
And you know, one thing that I encourage people to do when they're in this situation, because like you said, sometimes they have so many different things that they need to work on that it's like a whole, just a ginormous thing. So I'll be like, okay, well, how about this? Take a piece of paper, make you a list. Whatever you can think of that you need to do, write down. And then when we get a chance, we'll sit down, we'll pick out the ones that we can knock out right now and start crossing things off. Because here's the thing. Once you do that, one, you have given a structure to it, which means now your mind can't run and come up with stuff that you don't even need to be doing or worried about. So now you have a solid, salient list, right? It is a construct now.
Okay.
Now, whenever you cross something off of that list, that's progress.
Check this out. I'm gonna provide an alternative method too, because we understand multitudes of different types of people.
Right.
Personality type, behavior type, the way we think, whatever.
Right.
Here's an alternative if that doesn't work for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually what I'm doing my personal self in terms of my life, myself. What I have done is this year I'm not doing list. I'm doing one thing.
And sometimes that's all it takes.
Thing at a time. And guess what? I'm not adding nothing else to the list until I complete that one thing. And when I add another thing, it's going to be another one thing.
And guess what? Once you fix that thing, more than likely, if you did it right, guess what you don't have to deal with again? You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. Even for me personally, getting out of college, that's what I had to do. I had to narrow it down to what things am I missing and how can I work them down? And in some cases, towards the end, it was one at a time. Am I proud of it? No. Actually, no, I am proud of it because I realized how to reach my conclusion, and I reached it. Did it take a little longer? Yes. Was it more difficult for me? Yeah. Were there a lot of times where I'm looking at folks who go out and party all the time and still manage to get what they need, and I'm not even doing that, but I'm still bogged down by other things and not recognizing what that was and having difficulty? Did I have expectations of myself that I didn't achieve? Yes, absolutely. But guess what? Guess what? I still made it.
I'm gonna say
I still made it.
to you guys, because many people are gonna have or already have resolutions that have to do with losing weight as well as making more money. These two things. These are not things that you put in dates on. If you want to lose weight, what you really want is to be in better shape and maintain better shape. That is ongoing. You don't stop that.
No.
That's an ongoing thing that you are signing up for. If you want to make more money, you don't just want to stop at making $100 an hour.
Agreed,
ultimately, you want to make as much money as you possibly can.
Right.
Ongoing.
You won't stack.
When we talk about ongoing goals, if we're being honest, we want these things to be ongoing. We don't want them to end.
No.
Let's be realistic. With that being said,
that dopamine rush a little too good for you to want it to end.
Understand that these things are going to be more challenging because they're ongoing. Understand that you have to create systems. You essentially have to change your whole mindset.
Yes.
It's one thing to choose a goal that has a definite start and end point. If we're being realistic, it's another thing to choose something that you actually truly want for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. And also reach out to people who are already successful.
Yeah.
Utilize those people. And when you get good information that has results behind it, share it. Sometimes we get caught up in that crabs in the barrel mindset where we got to keep it to ourselves. We don't want, I'll wait. I don't know if I want to tell you. With people that you care about, especially.
Just make it clear.
What you do for people that you don't, I'm not going to be the judge, jury, and executioner.
Right.
For those people that you care about and that you would like to see do good too, the people that you want to eat at your table too, help them out. Help them out.
Look, and you know what the biggest thing is? Sometimes when we are doing good, because I just experienced, not me, but like somebody I know, when we are doing good, we get afraid to say anything about any of the negatives that still exist in our sphere. You know what I mean? What's going on in our world. And instead, we rather sit there and smile because everybody's used to us smiling now because we're doing better. And everybody's going like, man, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. So you're sitting there grinning, knowing that there's a couple issues in the back of your head that you're thinking about. And you have a support system. You have people that are asking you every day, sometimes every day, how are you doing? How are things going? What's going on? What's the word, right? But because you're so afraid of losing ground, you're so afraid of losing the advantage of doing good after you've had so much time of being at the bottom of the barrel, of being a failure, then now failure isn't an option because you won't accept that it exists. You won't acknowledge its existence.
Which is not living in reality.
It's not living in reality, and it's going to lead to another ultimate failure because guess what problems do? Or rather, guess what problems don't do? They don't go away.
They don't solve themselves.
No. They don't. Oh, they solve themselves by creating other problems. They matriculate into something else. You know, they develop, they compound, they build on each other. So guess what you're doing? In the midst of that, you are creating an issue that is even bigger than the one you had. And now because your support system has no knowledge of what is going on, they cannot help you. And then when they find out what's going on, guess what they're looking at you like? What's the first thing that's going to come out of their mouth? Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah. Why didn't you say something?
Why didn't you tell me? How long has this been going on? And what were you going to do if we didn't find out about it?
Yeah.
What were you going to do? What were you going to continue to do? Because here's the thing. Most of the time, they don't have an answer for you on any of those other than I just didn't want to worry you. I just didn't want to do that. Yeah, okay. Well, how about you worry about yourself? And when you encounter an issue or a problem, even if you're doing quote unquote good and you hit a roadblock, how about don't wait until it becomes a wall? How about address it?
Okay.
You know, and I'm saying that like it's easy, but it's not. It's not easy. This is a daily work that you have to work on. But you have to acknowledge whenever there is a problem, because even little problems can become issues. Okay, let's be real. Chill. Look. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real. Nobody ever look. Whenever people got, and this is a messed up example, but for real, whenever folk got roaches in their house. All right.
You gotta pat my head. I don't got no roaches.
Look, but yeah, because you felt that, didn't you? Guess what you gonna do every time? Look, no one ever sits there and says, "Well, I only got one roach."
Right.
You know why? Because if there's one roach, guess what you doing?
You got a whole bunch of roaches. You looking around.
No, it ain't even that. It might just be one. But guess what you doing? You patting your head, freaking out, tweaking. Why? Because you see that little thing that has invaded your privacy and is messing up what good you have. So guess what you go? So let's say you try to treat that problem like you treat the other problem where it's a little thing. You wait. Guess what that roach gonna do? He gonna make himself a home. He might eventually find a buddy. They might start making more. And next thing you know, you got a house full of roaches, all because you didn't kill the first one. Because you were so worried about anybody knowing that you had a roach, that now you got roaches. So now everybody pulls up and they see you got a whole roach motel in there. Now they see what you could have just showed them before and just took out.
That ain't a good look.
I'm just telling the truth. That's how things work. Because now that you have to reveal it, now it's so big that, yeah, you do look like crap now. You do look messed up. You do look like you lost ground because you did. You know what I'm saying? And yes, we need this out. I'm sorry. You will be okay. Anyway, I have come with a word from the Lord. Anyway, I won't be before you long. But we gonna cut it off here because of course we have other things to talk about. We will be producing more podcast episodes here soon.
Oh yeah, we're gonna rev up the volume. It's about to get
it's catch up time.
It's gonna get better.
Yep.
2022, we have our own we have our own goals for the podcast.
Yes.
And we're not even gonna speak too much on them. You'll know as they come along, you'll start to see the changes, such as a new environment. And more.
Yeah. I think if Toya wants us to do a fusion dance, you can keep playing. My knees don't work like that.
No.
But anyway, but no, for real. This has been wonderful. It's good to have my brother back.
Oh yeah, bro.
Because
you already know it.
Low key, this was getting weird. But anyway, I don't like being in y'all faces by myself. Not Darth Vader, ma'am.
Bro, is that a roast? All right, Darth Vader has voice, bro. Not talking about you, right?
Altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. Don't try me. Don't try me. Leave me alone.
Tragic.
You know I'm extra. I'll start making quotes. Anyway.
We don't have to start putting these things on shirts and selling and giving y'all these shirts.
This is your granddaddy. I don't know why that came out. I'm just being dramatic. At this point, I'm really just being dramatic because I don't get them all. But yeah, for real. I just thought about something funny. I used the ending fight in Invincible as a way to explain gaslighting to somebody.
And we gonna leave on that note because
it worked though.
That's going into a whole nother.
It worked though, because think about it. He beat the hell out that boy and then said, and in the end, when he started facing his own cognitive dissonance, said, and I quote, "Why did you make me do this?"
Bruh. Ladies and gentlemen,
it's wonderful what things you can learn.
NeRo, send us out, sir.
All right. So I'm probably gonna mess this up because it's been a minute. This has been the Black in a Minute podcast, brought to you once again by Twyman Arts. I go by NeRo AnGeLo,
and I go by the Darksking Poet. That's dark skin with a G. Only in.
And we love to hear it. So we do appreciate you coming and chilling with us on this lovely evening. Hopefully it's still a lovely evening because I want to put another jacket on. But from the sanctity of our new Fortress of Solitude, we do bid you good day, good night, or whenever the heck you're watching this thing. And we hope that you have a wonderful evening. Peace out.
Power.